So we are continuing with our series of reflections of a retiring president. And this next question I think we could spend hours and hours on. But what do you feel is your greatest achievement as president at Northeastern?
Well, you might spend hours. I'll spend 20 seconds. But I think I really can't name a thing.
Right.
The thing I think my greatest achievement is actually bringing people together for the common good. Because that's what you end up with when you do searches to bring new members of the university here, when you do fiscal issues and how to solve those problems. My favorite one, so it's not necessarily my greatest achievement, but my favorite one is strategic planning in 2008. And we brought people together in lots of iterations, and at the end of the many months, 600 people participated in creating that little blue book that I call the strategic plan, which of course then has guided all these other things, and you can list particular achievements. I think some of the most fun things, so not necessarily greatest achievements, building El Centro, that was very special, shaking the hands of thousands of students at commencement, and actually listening to everyone who names these students because the names are so rich and beautiful. And there are lots of other things that I'm pleased that we got done, but it's about the people that came together to do it. That would be my answer. So,
The people here are amazing,
they are.
as are our students.
Yes, yes. And when we come together with goodwill and creativity, there's no telling what we're going to get done. So,
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting that, you had really two iterations of the strategic plan. You had the first process, which was really the university's first strategic plan, and then you went through the refresh this past time. And it was really I thought, a very inclusive process and very good dialogue, and came up with some interesting solutions during difficult times here in Illinois. So,
and in fact, when we did the refresh process, it was led by the University Planning and Budget Council, which we created between the original strategic plan and the refresh. So that would be an outcome of the strategic plan that then fosters the next round.
Yeah.
So,
I often think that when we see those names at commencement, that it's such a diverse crowd, that we really are sort of creating the next generation of leaders whose faces have been absent from the leadership table for far too long. And it's always a great joy at commencement to hear you say congratulations in the multiple languages
in lots of languages,
that you
yes.
do. And it is so reflective of the community that we serve. So,
And we are preparing students to be successful graduates in a global society.
We sure
and
are.
It's a joy every day.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thanks.